In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to do a 3F vertical down weld. So the first thing I need to do is securely mount my pieces into a fixture or jig of some sort. Ideally, you set up this jig in such a way that you can repeatedly put the places in the fixture, and in such way you could perform the same weld as many times as you would like. This metal is 3/16 inch carbon steel, and it is 2 inch wide and about 10 inches long. And we will be using a standard MIG process to weld it, and so I'm going to quickly go over what those weld settings are going to be. For our wire speed, we'll be using 153 inches per minute and 19 volts for our voltage, and then we'll make sure that we have the correct gas and wire size. So now I'm ready to create a new program using my pendant. The first thing I need to do is select which program I'd like to store my points in. I'll select program 3 and clear out all the points currently in program 3 since I would like to start fresh. And then I'll also give this program a name, that way I can refer back to it in the future. I'll hit enter to confirm my name and then go to edit so that I can set the weld speed. For this weld, it'll be 17 inches per minute. As always, before I teach anything, I need to make sure I have the correct amount of wire out of my torch tip. So I'll measure my contact tip to work distance and make sure it's a 1/2 inch since we're using a standard MIG process. I snip my wire and then put the gas cup back on, and then I'm ready to begin teaching points. I first drag the robot to a home position and press the green button to record that point. I'll drag the robot into a few other approach positions so that I can approach the part without colliding with it. And then once I've taught my last approach point about 2 inches away from my weld seam, I'll use the joystick to jog into that weld seam until the tip of the wire is right in the corner. I also will use a protractor set at 5 degrees to set my 5-degree drag on this vertical down weld. Once I get my 5-degree drag set and make sure that I have a bisecting 45-degree work angle, I can go ahead and teach this point. So I'll press the green point button to record this as a point, and then I will press the red arc on button to record this as where the arc will turn on. You'll also notice I held the store orientation button, and that is just a helpful thing I can do to save this orientation for my next point. It's not required, but it's just a helpful quick thing you can do. So I'm going to recall that orientation by doing a quick press right then, and that basically adjusts that orientation to how it was in that first weld. And then all I got to do is position that wire tip to be directly into that corner. So I taught that end of the weld by teaching the green point button and then pressing the red button to turn the arc off. And now I'm just teaching a few retract positions to move away. I can go ahead and push play and do a dry run. So it's a dry run because I know the arc safety is on, meaning there's a green border around the pendant. And as long as arc safety is on, the welder will not weld. And so I can just watch and make sure that wire is traveling exactly along the seam just as I would expect. Now that I'm ready to weld, I'll turn the arc safety off. I'll see a red border on my pendant, and by pushing play, I can run through the weld.